Halloween has just passed, but Halloween never dies in my spirit. Hello, my fellow bookish witches. Welcome to Witchy Reads. Before we get into today's video, please make sure to like this video, and if the spirit moves you, subscribe to my channel. Today, I want to talk about my little adventure to the Copper Cat Books Fall Festival. Copper Cat Books is an independent used bookstore located in Henderson, Nevada. On their website, they boast that they are the only used bookstore in Henderson. That's pretty cool of them. The bookstore was opened back in 2017 by husband and wife Anthony and Wendy, whose dream it was to open a used bookstore. At the time, there were no bookstores in Henderson, and they decided to fill that gap, as it were, for the people living there in their hometown and provide a used bookstore, which I think is very cool. They primarily sell used books, but also have some new books that they feel their customer base would like. They also have various gift items, artwork, jewelry, gift certificates, and book reading accessories. The Fall Festival is the first book festival that has been put on by Copper Cat Books. They are hoping to make it an annual event. If they can do that, I think that would be very cool. I like smaller book events like this. Independent bookshops putting forth the effort for the community and local authors. Creating events like this is very good for the bookish community. The Fall Festival served as a way to promote local authors. All the authors in attendance were local to Las Vegas. I didn't really know a lot of the authors that were in attendance. I will say that I think that they got a nice variety of authors. It ranged from men, women. They were able to get authors who wrote in different genres. They had a local author for every type of reader. The authors who were in attendance were really nice and were there to promote their various books. It was just a very chill atmosphere, which I appreciated. I definitely felt at home with the crowd at Copper Cat Books. The Fall Festival itself was scheduled from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I arrived about 10 after 1, so pretty much right at the start. Even though I was only like about 10 minutes late, when I arrived, the shop was already jam-packed with people. I'm guessing because this is the only bookshop in Henderson that it draws a lot of people from the local community, which again is just very cool. There was mention on their flyer for the Fall Festival that there would be a $5 donation fee for all who attended. When I arrived, I was fully prepared to pay that donation fee, but it seemed they were a little disorganized. I couldn't really figure out if there was someone who was assigned to take that $5 donation. There was a register inside the store, but there was already a line of patrons who were buying their merch, buying their books. I didn't want to cut in the line to simply give the $5 donation. My thought process was I fully came to that used bookstore to purchase books. I had an allotted budget of what I could spend. My logic was I'm going to spend money here, so I'm not going to feel bad if I can't find the person to give the $5 donation to. If it turned out that I wouldn't be able to buy a book or I just didn't find anything that interested me, I would make a point to locate the owner or locate a staff member and give them that $5 donation. I wanted to support the bookshop. I understand that events like this aren't easy or cheap to put on, so I really appreciate that Copper Cat Books made the effort to do it, even if it was a little disorganized. The bookshop did provide snacks to the people who did attend. This included pastries, cookies, a cheese board. They also had some kind of drink. So there were refreshments for the people in attendance, and I believe that is what the $5 donation was supposed to go towards. They also had a live musician playing music in the shop. I thought it added to the atmosphere. It made it very cozy. It was the vibe. It was the vibe, and I really enjoyed that. The musician was Tim Connolly, also known as the ukulele hero. So it was ukulele music playing, which was very nice. At some point while I was walking around the shop, I was stopped by a staff member and was told that they were going to be doing a silent auction for signed books. And he asked if I was interested. I agreed because I figured why not. He signed me up. Part of it was to get a number off of a raffle ticket, which I guess everyone received when they came in. For some reason, I got looked over. I'm guessing it may have been the person taking the donations. Who knows? This staff member was very kind. He went and found the raffle tickets and gave me a raffle ticket. I did look over the books that they had on display for the silent auction and ultimately decided not to participate. There was just nothing that interested me really. And since they were signed, they had them behind the counter and I couldn't exactly ask to pick them up and like read the back of the book. I just let it go. It wasn't a huge loss for me. I thought it was very cool that they had something like that set up. With those raffle tickets, they were also doing raffle giveaways every about 20 minutes in the store.
914-103.
I was there for 2 of them. I actually ended up winning the second round, so that was really cool. And I'm going to show you what I got. It was a mystery gift, and my hands were full in the shop, and also maneuvering in the shop was really hard. The shop was packed. The aisles were crowded, and long story short, I just didn't want to elbow anybody in the face to try and open this in the store. So we're going to open this now. It is clearly a book, like book shape. There's also something else in there. I did not feel that before. They said it was from author Brooke Gillespie Trout, who is a local author in Las Vegas. She is a romance author. We're going to see what we won at the raffle at the Fall Festival. This is wrapped very well. I wasn't prepared for like crazy knots. Okay, here we go. Ooh, okay. So here's the book. Let's see what other thing was in here. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, there's one other thing. My goodness. So much stuff. Very cool. Okay. Oh, there's like a little pin for the author, Brooke Gillespie Trout. I love the image. That's so cute. It's like her sitting at her desk. Looks like there are some business cards for her. Yeah, that have her website, which I will definitely put down in the description below. I'm going to put links to all the authors that were there at the festival because I think it's very cool that they were all local Vegas authors. Here is a bookmark as well. And oh my gosh, is this a candle? It is. It's a candle and it's pine scented, which I love pine scented candles. I literally have one candle in my office right now and it is pine scented. I love pine scented candles. Oh my gosh. Perfect. Who would have thunk? Perfect gift for me. Okay, so let's open and see what the book is that we got here. I'm assuming it may be one of her books. And again, I'm not super familiar with the with local authors here in Vegas. So, yeah, okay. So it is one of her books. It is Where We Belong, Brooke Gillespie Trout. Wow. Okay. Real quick, let's see. The lives of Tiffany Martin and Wesley Steele had been connected since they were kids. Having grown up in a picturesque town along the rugged Maine coastline, their 2 families enjoyed a happy life together as the best of friends. Tiffany, Wes, and Brett, Tiffany's older brother, were thick as thieves as they grew up. As the years passed, life took them all in different directions. Wes, a skilled contractor, and Brett, an aspiring musician, stayed to create their lives in their hometown, while Tiffany was lured away by the extravagant lifestyle of one of Boston's elite. Things were going well for each of them until life took a tragic turn. Through a sudden death in the family and the ultimate betrayal in their romantic relationships, Tiffany and Wes became even closer. They came to the realization that home might just be right where they belong. Very Hallmark. I will definitely give this a read. Why not? I mean, I'm not a huge romance reader, but sometimes the mood strikes. And quite honestly, with the cold coming in, I'm not gonna lie, I've started thinking what my TBRs will be for winter, and I'm thinking like a lot of them might be romance focused. So we'll see. So that was what I won for the auction. But I also purchased 2 books from the bookshop. So let's take a look at those. I'm gonna have a mess in here. Okay, first, I have a running collection of Terry Pratchett Discworld books because my ultimate goal is to eventually read all of them. Thus far, I have only read The Color of Magic, which is the first in the Discworld series. They had a few Terry Pratchett books at the used bookstore. I got Sorcery from the Discworld series. I am not 100% sure what number this is in the Discworld series. Looking in the inside cover of one of the other books, I made a guess as to where it fell. This is the next one that I need for the collection. We'll see if I am correct, but this was one of the ones I bought. The other one I bought was Stranger Than Fan Fiction by Chris Colfer. I found out recently that Chris Colfer of Glee fame is actually a well-written author. I'm very curious. Since I learned that, I've wanted to just kind of check him out and read one of his books. He's got a few. This one stood out to me. I liked the cover. I liked the synopsis. It will definitely get put on my TBR and read at some point. So there are those. There was a good amount of local Vegas authors in attendance. And like I said, they ranged in genre. I learned in Googling and also just overhearing conversations with the authors there that they are all members of this local group called the Coffee House Tours. If you are a local author to the city of Las Vegas, you sign up with the Coffee House Tours, and they work with bookshops in Vegas to set up events for you, such as the Fall Festival or book signings if you have a new book being released, which I think is so awesome that there is this program that allows for local authors to set up events like that and promote their books. In a way, it also promotes the bookshops in Vegas. I think it's a great idea, and I'm so glad that there is something out there that allows for that. The authors who were in attendance were Adam Yeager, who is a children's author, Crystal Clary, who is a murder mystery and sci-fi author, Stan Zalisny, I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly, who writes historical fiction, fantasy, and murder mystery, Liz Parker, who is a fantasy author, Lori Piotrowski, who writes children's fiction, Renee Jean, who writes paranormal mystery, Vicki Ann Bush, who writes YA paranormal, Alan Geck, who writes memoirs and organized crime, S.G. Taz, who writes comedic horror, Victoria Carr, who writes dystopian, Morgan St. James, who writes mystery, and Patrick Madden, who writes paranormal. I knew I wanted to support local authors by purchasing some books directly from them. That is what this festival was trying to focus on. I wanted to make sure my money was going to those local authors. I wound up at the booth for Vicki Ann Bush and Patrick Madden.
Okay,
let me see now. We've got.
So Vicki Ann Bush was the YA paranormal author, and then Patrick Madden was paranormal, but he was promoting specifically a horror book that he had written. I ended up buying books from both of them, and I'm really excited to get to read them. So I'm going to show you their books. So many books bought today. My inner book dragon is so happy. I am running on pure adrenaline at this point. I bought Unthreaded by Vicki Ann Bush. And she gave me a few things. Witchy swag from Vicki Ann Bush. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look how pretty. That's so pretty. It's clearly costume jewelry, but whatever. It's cute. What else we got here? I hear jingle jangling. Little charms. How interesting. Okay. It looks like a little charm for like a charm bracelet, maybe? Yeah, okay. It's like a little book. We also got some stones. I love collecting crystals and stones. I got some tumbled rocks here. Little stones. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I can hold these. They're gonna fall. Oh. Little stones. I don't know. I'm not sure what they are. Ooh, the blue one. I'd have to, you know what? I'm a bad witch. I don't know stones by heart. I'd have to look up what these each are. They're very cute, and I'm very excited to add them to my rock collection. Thanks. This is very nice. A cute little bookmark, which I will take all the bookmarks, please. I never have enough. And because they were promoting their books and selling their books directly from the author, they signed them for me. So I didn't get a chance to see what she wrote. It says, "To Witchy, love conquers time." Very cool. The synopsis says, "Separated by time, bonded by fate. When a young man turns to dust right before his eyes, Noah Winston is hurtled into the center of a time-bending mystery. In his quest to uncover the truth, he's driven deep into local legend and discovers a town that vanished over 100 years ago. As he struggles to untangle the secrets of the past, he meets a family that he must save from the curse and finds himself falling in love. Can he save them from a fate worse than death and find true love? Or will time slip away and steal her from him forever?" Time travel, historical romance. I read the synopsis at the booth and I was like, yes, please, I want this. I'm excited to read it. And then while I was in line for Vicky and Bush, I overheard Patrick Madden talking about his book, and I believe all he said was that it was horror in the vein of H.P. Lovecraft, and my ears perked up. I was like, yes, please, give me H.P. Lovecraft. Give me all the Cthulhu. I want it. Give me all the Eldritch horror. I'm here for it. Lamplight Hollow from Patrick Madden. He signed it for me, and it says, "Thanks for reading, Witchy." I'm so excited when I have authors sign books. If I get a book signed by the author, I am ecstatic. He described this as horror, H.P. Lovecraft, and then when I read the back, I was like, oh, it's small town horror. I have just read Let the Woods Keep Our Bodies, which is also small town horror. That is something I'm definitely into now because of that book. So I hope this scratches that itch as well. Let's read the synopsis. "There are things far worse than death. 28-year-old Eric Zott has left his old life behind in search of a fresh start. The open road ahead seems to close in on him, however, as a series of bizarre, grievous events lead him to the wooded hamlet of Lamplight Hollow. The small village is nearly pristine, and the locals at the diner are incredibly helpful and more than welcoming. It would almost seem an ideal place were it not for how eerily silent and spotless the town is. Not everything is as it appears to be, however, as he soon finds himself before a disturbing sight, an ancient bloody altar and the decrepit bell tower that is looming over the very heart of the village. An ominous air permeates from this site as a macabre ritual summons dark powers that are intent on keeping Eric and all those within here forever. Super excited to read this, and they're both relatively short. Let's see. Probably consider Lamplight Hollow a novella because it's under 200 pages. It's like 175. And then Unthreaded, we're looking at, what are we looking at? So it's just over 200. It's about 240. So these are very short books. I think I can get through them fairly quickly. I'm excited to read them. I'm excited that they are now a part of my collection. Signed books, little treasures. I love it. I also love that so many people complimented my earrings, my cat ears. I was down to be a cat at Copper Cat Books. While this was a fun event to support local Las Vegas authors and support an independent used bookstore, it was more unorganized than I was prepared for. I'm sure this had a lot to do with the fact that this is their first time putting on an event like this. Also too, because I had done some research in trying to find bookish events in Las Vegas. I think this was kind of conceived and put together in a short span of time. I believe I had learned about the Las Vegas Book Festival a few months back because that is an annual thing. It's been going on for over 2 decades. After that, I started looking again, and then this one popped up. So I feel like it was conceived and put together in a short span of time. So I want to be generous in that sense because I feel like maybe if they had a little bit more time, it wouldn't have been so disorganized. I think the bookshop itself is the perfect size for a cozy reader feel. I know that they also put on more intimate events such as book signings and book club meetings, and I do think the space is perfect for those kind of events. What I think could have been improved for the fall festival is establishing some kind of flow of traffic within the bookshop itself. When I came in, there was a line at the register which was blocking the main walkway to get to further into the store. There were people milling about, and I noticed that a lot of people, and this happened to me as well, would end up in a corner of an aisle of the shop, and they didn't necessarily want to be there, but you were basically stuck there because the flow of traffic was blocking you in. Maybe some reorganization, or simply setting up, hey, if you're going to come in, come this way. Some kind of way to regulate the flow of people, I think would have made a huge difference in just people enjoying themselves and not worrying about bumping into shelves, bumping into other people. Just a thought. For example, the snacks were placed in this weird location. It was kind of in a corner, and they had some of the authors inside selling their books. So because of that, where the snacks were placed, there was one way in and one way out. I feel like if you're going to have a table of refreshments, it is much easier to have it be a flow where people come in and then they go out the opposite direction so that there's not a clogging of people. A lot of people were avoiding the refreshments simply because of where it was located. I just happened to end up in that corner, so I managed to get a piece of cheese off of the cheese board. Nobody was really touching the cookies and stuff like that, and I truly believe it was because of where it was placed in the store. Where the table was placed, it was not a dead end. It was a walkthrough. I don't think they should have placed an author's table there because I think that really messed up the flow in the bookshop. Honestly, with how it was set up, I think it might have been better to only have like one or two of the authors inside the store, have everybody else outside. Maybe it was like 50-50 as far as the authors being outside and inside, but I think there were way too many authors inside the shop. It should have primarily spilled out in front of the shop. Honestly, I wouldn't have cared if they had taken maybe one or two parking spots right in front of the store to give the authors more space and then allow the shop to not be so cramped. The musician that they had playing was all the way in the back of the shop. If you headed back there, they had a really nice seating area. So you can tell this is where their other more intimate events take place. Maybe the book signings, definitely the book clubs. He was so far back there and people were kind of avoiding going back there because everything was happening towards the front of the shop. I only ended up there just because I wanted to get a full idea of the store itself. He was sitting there by himself for a little bit. As the event went on, more people showed up and ended up back there in the seating area because I did start hearing applause of people when he would end a song. I don't know if there was a better location for him. Probably not. It made sense to have him there. It was nice having the music filter from the back of the store to the front. It gave this nice ambiance to the bookshop. The best thing for me was getting to talk to the different authors and getting to talk to other readers about the books that they like to read, the genres that they like to read, getting an idea like whether or not, you prefer hardback to paperback. It's those little conversations that I was really enjoying. It definitely felt more intimate than, say, the Las Vegas Book Festival, which is a bigger event with panels and things like that. That part of it, I really, really enjoyed and would love to experience again. So definitely I will keep an eye out for more small bookish events like this. This is probably going to be the last book festival that I get to attend for a while. From what I've seen, most book festivals happen in the fall, which makes sense. Especially here in Las Vegas, the weather has definitely shifted. It has gotten a lot colder. Outdoor events are probably not going to be a thing for a while. Maybe I can research and see if I can find some other type of bookish events, not necessarily festivals, see if anything pops up. I would love to see what other types types of bookish events there are. As much as I have loved going to the book festivals, I want to see if there's something else. If I follow those authors, I can maybe go to one of their signings, things like that. We'll have to see. Let me know if you like to go to book festivals or what other bookish events you like to go to. Maybe I can see if there's something nearby local to me and check it out. You can always let me know either in the comment section below or reaching out to me on my socials, either Twitter or Instagram. I have both. Until next time, this is Witchy Reads saying go support your local bookshops and local authors.